It's 2 a.m. and somewhere in a college dorm room, the familiar ritual begins. The gentle tearing of foil packaging, the satisfying crack of a styrofoam cup lid, the rush of steam rising as boiling water hits those golden, crinkled noodles. That distinctive aroma, part salt, part comfort, part pure nostalgia, fills the air. In that moment, across continents and cultures, millions of people share this exact same experience. The soft slurp of noodles, the warmth spreading through tired bodies, the simple satisfaction of a 3-minute meal that somehow feels like a warm hug. Did you know that we consume over 103 billion servings of instant noodles globally each year? That's roughly 13 servings for every person on Earth. From a Japanese inventor's post-war kitchen to space stations orbiting our planet, these humble noodles have quietly revolutionized how we think about food, convenience, and comfort. Now settle in with your coziest blanket as we begin our remarkable journey exploring instant noodles. From their humble beginnings to their reign as the world's most beloved comfort food. Our story begins in the rubble of post-war Japan, where hope and hunger walked hand in hand through the streets of Osaka. The year was 1958, and 48-year-old Momofuku Ando stood in his backyard shed, surrounded by the persistent aroma of failure and the equally persistent scent of possibility. For months, he had been wrestling with a seemingly simple question. How do you make noodles that could last indefinitely yet cook in minutes? Japan in the 1950s was a nation rebuilding itself from the ground up. Food was scarce, money was scarcer, and people needed quick, affordable nutrition that could fill empty stomachs and provide comfort during uncertain times. Traditional ramen required hours to prepare properly, time that working families simply didn't have. Ando watched long lines of people waiting for bowls of ramen from street vendors, and saw an opportunity to bring that comfort into every home. Night after night, Ando experimented in his modest workshop. His wife grew accustomed to the sounds drifting from the shed, the bubble and hiss of oil, the frustrated sighs, the occasional exclamation of discovery. He tried steaming noodles, then drying them. He attempted various preserving methods, each failing to achieve the perfect balance of longevity and flavor. The breakthrough came through what seemed like divine inspiration, or perhaps just the kind of happy accident that changes the world. Ando discovered that flash-frying fresh noodles in palm oil at precisely 100 and 4-160 degrees C created tiny holes throughout the noodle structure. These microscopic pockets would later allow boiling water to penetrate quickly and evenly, reconstituting the noodles to their original texture in just 3 minutes. The oil coating also created a protective barrier that prevented spoilage, allowing the noodles to remain edible for months without refrigeration. The first product he created was called chicken ramen, a simple chicken-flavored instant noodle that sold for 35 yen per package. To put this in perspective, fresh udon noodles from a vendor cost only 6 yen, making Ando's invention seem luxuriously expensive. Yet something remarkable happened. People bought them anyway. The convenience factor, the consistent flavor, and the simple joy of preparing a hot meal in minutes proved irresistible. Ando's timing was perfect. Japan was entering an era of rapid economic growth, and families were embracing anything that made their increasingly busy lives more manageable. Women were entering the workforce in greater numbers, leaving less time for traditional cooking methods that required hours of preparation. Instant noodles offered a solution that was both practical and satisfying. The early marketing was simple but effective. Ando demonstrated his product at department stores, showing skeptical customers how easy it was to prepare. He would boil water in front of crowds, add the noodles, and watch faces light up as the aroma filled the air. Word spread quickly through neighborhoods as people shared this convenient discovery with friends and family. What Ando couldn't have anticipated was how profoundly his invention would resonate beyond mere convenience. Instant noodles became comfort food in the truest sense, warm, filling, and consistent in a world that often felt chaotic and unpredictable. The ritual of preparation became almost meditative. The careful opening of the package, the patient waiting for water to boil, the satisfying moment when everything came together in a steaming bowl. The cultural impact was immediate and lasting. Instant noodles represented modernity and progress, yet they maintained a connection to traditional Japanese food culture through their ramen heritage. They bridged the gap between old and new, offering innovation while honoring familiar flavors and eating practices. As sales grew, Ando realized he had created more than just a food product. He had tapped into something fundamental about human nature. The desire for comfort, convenience, and connection could all be satisfied by something as simple as noodles in a package. This understanding would drive the global expansion that was about to transform eating habits worldwide. Step into any instant noodle factory, and you'll witness a symphony of precision that transforms simple ingredients into shelf-stable comfort food. The process is both scientifically complex and beautifully rhythmic, like watching an elaborate dance performed by machines and overseen by food scientists who understand the delicate balance required to create the perfect noodle. The journey begins with wheat flour, the foundation of every instant noodle. This isn't just any flour, it's specifically selected for its protein content and gluten strength. The wheat is milled to exact specifications, creating a powder so fine it feels like silk between your fingers. To this base, manufacturers add carefully measured amounts of salt, which strengthens the gluten network, and kansui, an alkaline mineral water that gives the noodles their characteristic yellow color and chewy texture. The mixing process happens in enormous industrial mixers that work like gentle giants, combining these dry ingredients with precisely heated water. The temperature matters enormously. Too hot, and the gluten won't develop properly. Too cool, and the mixture won't achieve the right consistency. The dough that emerges is smooth and elastic, with a subtle golden hue that hints at the noodles it will become. Next comes the rolling and cutting phase, where the magic of transformation really begins. The dough passes through a series of rollers that gradually thin it to the perfect thickness, usually around 1.5 millimeters. The process is reminiscent of making pasta by hand, but scaled up to industrial proportions. The sheets of dough move along conveyor belts like golden ribbons, occasionally misted with steam to maintain the ideal moisture content. The cutting stage is where noodles get their distinctive shape. Rotating blades slice the dough sheets into long, thin strips that immediately begin to curl and wave as they hit the moving conveyor belts. Different blade configurations create various noodle widths and textures. Some factories can switch between producing thin ramen-style noodles and thicker udon-style varieties simply by changing the cutting equipment. But the real alchemy happens during the steaming and frying process. The fresh noodles are first steamed in large chambers filled with precisely controlled steam. This initial cooking partially gelatinizes the starch and sets the noodle structure. The steaming chambers emit a constant, gentle hissing sound as steam circulates around the noodles, cooking them just enough to prepare them for the next crucial step. The flash frying process is where Ando's original innovation truly shines. The steamed noodles are immersed in palm oil, heated to exactly 100 and 4 to -160 degrees C for roughly 2 minutes. This intense heat causes the moisture in the noodles to rapidly vaporize, creating thousands of tiny holes throughout each strand. The oil temperature must be maintained within a narrow range. Too hot, and the noodles become brittle. Too cool, and they won't dehydrate properly. As the noodles fry, they undergo a remarkable transformation. The golden strands curl and crisp, becoming lighter and developing the porous structure that will later allow them to rehydrate quickly. The sound in the frying area is a constant, vigorous bubbling, as moisture escapes from millions of noodles simultaneously. The aroma is rich and slightly nutty, a smell that workers say becomes surprisingly comforting over time. The dehydration process reduces the noodle's moisture content from about 80% to just 2–5%. This dramatic reduction is what gives instant noodles their incredible shelf life. Without sufficient moisture, bacteria and mold cannot survive, allowing the noodles to remain safe and edible for months or even years when properly stored. After frying, the noodles are cooled on conveyor belts in climate-controlled environments. The cooling process must be gradual, and even to prevent the noodles from becoming too brittle. Some factories use tunnel systems where cool air circulates around the noodles as they slowly move toward the packaging area. Quality control happens at every stage of production. Samples are constantly tested for moisture content, oil absorption, cooking time, and flavor consistency. The ideal instant noodle should rehydrate in exactly 3 minutes, have a firm but tender texture, and maintain its structure without becoming mushy. Achieving this consistency across millions of servings requires constant monitoring and adjustment. The seasoning packets require their own specialized production processes. Flavor powders are created by combining dehydrated vegetables, spices, salt, and flavor enhancers in precise ratios. These ingredients are mixed in huge rotating drums that ensure even distribution of flavors. The resulting powder is tested for taste, color, and solubility. It must dissolve completely in hot water to create a uniform broth. Liquid seasoning packets undergo a different process, with ingredients like soy sauce, oils, and concentrated broths being blended in stainless steel tanks under sterile conditions. These liquid seasonings often contain the more delicate flavor compounds that might be lost in powder form, adding depth and complexity to the final product. Oil packets, when included, contain carefully refined vegetable oils that have been flavored with various aromatics. These oils are often what give instant noodles their rich, satisfying mouthfeel and help carry the more volatile flavor compounds that create the distinctive instant noodle experience. The packaging stage brings everything together with mechanical precision. Machines form the distinctive polystyrene cups or flexible packaging at incredible speeds, while other equipment precisely portions the noodles and adds the seasoning packets. The sealing process creates an airtight environment that preserves freshness and prevents contamination. Throughout this entire process, the transformation of simple ingredients into shelf-stable comfort food represents a remarkable achievement in food science. Each step builds upon the last, creating a product that can travel thousands of miles, sit on shelves for months, yet still deliver a hot, satisfying meal in just 3 minutes when someone needs it most. Imagine opening your spice cabinet and finding flavors from every corner of the earth, each one perfectly captured in a small foil packet. This is the beautiful reality of instant noodles, a single invention that has been lovingly adapted by every culture it has touched, creating a global tapestry of tastes that tells the story of human creativity and local food traditions. In Japan, where our story began, instant noodles have evolved into an art form that would make their inventor proud. Japanese convenience stores showcase dozens of varieties that read like a love letter to the country's culinary heritage. There's tonkatsu ramen with its rich, milky pork bone broth that simmers for hours in restaurants, but somehow captures that same soul-warming essence in instant form. Miso varieties offer the fermented complexity that defines Japanese comfort food, while shoyu-based noodles provide the clean, umami-rich flavor that pairs perfectly with late-night study sessions or early morning commutes. The Japanese have also mastered seasonal variations that reflect their deep connection to nature's rhythms. Spring brings sakura-flavored noodles that taste of cherry blossoms and renewal. Summer varieties feature cold preparation methods and refreshing yuzu citrus notes. Autumn offerings incorporate mushroom and chestnut flavors, while winter warmers include hearty miso and robust pork-based broths that chase away the seasonal chill. Travel south to Korea, and you'll discover a noodle landscape defined by bold flavors and fiery passion. Korean instant noodles don't just warm you up, they wake up every taste bud you didn't know you had. Shin Ramyeon, perhaps Korea's most famous export after K-pop, delivers a spicy kick that builds slowly, creating a pleasant burn that Korean food lovers crave. The broth is complex, layering gochugaru, Korean red pepper flakes, with garlic, onion, and a subtle sweetness that balances the heat. Korean innovations extend beyond spice levels to include fascinating preparation methods. Some varieties are designed to be mixed dry, creating a pasta-like dish where the sauce coats every noodle strand. Others incorporate cheese, a combination that might sound unusual, but creates an incredibly satisfying fusion of Korean spice and creamy comfort that has gained fans worldwide. In Thailand, instant noodles reflect the country's masterful balance of sweet, sour, salty, and spicy flavors. Tom Yum varieties capture the essence of the famous soup with its distinctive combination of lemongrass, lime leaves, galangal, and chilies. The flavor profile is bright and aromatic, with each spoonful delivering the tropical complexity that defines Thai cuisine. Pad Thai-flavored instant noodles offer another beloved taste, somehow managing to replicate the tamarind tang and peanut richness of the famous stir-fried dish. Vietnamese instant noodles tell the story of pho, the aromatic noodle soup that has become synonymous with Vietnamese cuisine worldwide. These varieties focus on the deep, complex broth flavors achieved through star anise, cinnamon, cloves, and other warm spices that traditionally simmer for hours with beef or chicken bones. The instant versions may not require the same time investment, but they capture the essential character that makes pho so comforting and satisfying. China, with its vast regional cuisines, has created an instant noodle landscape as diverse as the country itself. Sichuan varieties embrace the mala flavor profile, the numbing heat of Sichuan peppercorns combined with chili oil that creates a tingling sensation on the tongue. Cantonese-style noodles offer more subtle flavors, often featuring seafood or chicken in delicate broths. Northern Chinese varieties might include hearty meat flavors or the distinctive taste of black bean sauce. The creativity doesn't stop with traditional flavors. Chinese manufacturers have experimented with everything from hot pot-flavored noodles that capture the communal dining experience in a single serving, to regional specialties like Lanzhou beef noodle soup or Guilin rice noodles, each adapted for instant preparation while maintaining their distinctive character. In Indonesia, instant noodles have become so integrated into local culture that they've created entirely new flavor categories. Indomie, the country's most famous brand, offers varieties like rendang, capturing the rich, spicy flavors of the traditional slow-cooked beef dish. Other Indonesian innovations include ayam bawang, chicken and onion, and soto-flavored varieties that replicate the complex spice blends of traditional Indonesian soups. India's instant noodle market reflects the country's incredible spice mastery and vegetarian traditions. Curry-flavored varieties span the heat spectrum from mild to volcanic, often incorporating traditional spice blends like garam masala or specific regional curry styles. Masala varieties offer the warming, aromatic spice combinations that define Indian comfort food, while some brands have created fusion flavors that blend Indian spices with international noodle styles. European adaptations tend to focus on familiar comfort flavors with local twists. In Germany, you might find varieties that taste like traditional sausage and sauerkraut. Italian versions sometimes incorporate pizza or pasta sauce flavors. British varieties often feature chicken and mushroom or other pub-style comfort food flavors that reflect local preferences for hearty, familiar tastes. Perhaps most fascinating are the flavor experiments that push the boundaries of what instant noodles can be. Some Asian markets feature varieties that taste like specific dishes: Korean fried chicken, Japanese curry, or even bubble tea. There are breakfast-flavored noodles, dessert-inspired varieties, and seasonal limited editions that capture everything from holiday flavors to summer festival foods. The regional preparation methods are just as diverse as the flavors themselves. While most Western consumers simply add hot water and wait, many Asian countries have developed elaborate preparation rituals. Some varieties are meant to be cooked with additional ingredients like eggs, vegetables, or proteins. Others are designed for cold preparation, creating refreshing summer dishes that challenge the assumption that noodles must be served hot. What's truly remarkable is how each culture has made instant noodles their own, while maintaining the essential character that makes them instantly recognizable. Whether you're slurping spicy Korean noodles at 2 a.m. or enjoying delicate Japanese varieties during a quiet lunch break, you're participating in a global comfort food tradition that somehow feels both universally familiar and uniquely local. This worldwide flavor journey represents more than just food innovation. It's a testament to human creativity and our deep desire to make even the most convenient foods reflect our cultural identity and personal tastes. In every packet of seasoning, there's a story of adaptation, experimentation, and the beautiful way that food connects us across borders while celebrating our differences. Have you ever wondered why a simple bowl of instant noodles can feel so deeply satisfying, transforming a hungry, tired person into someone content and ready to face the world? The answer lies in a fascinating intersection of food science, psychology, and human biology that makes instant noodles far more than just convenient calories. The satisfaction begins before you even take the first bite, starting with the multisensory experience of preparation. The sound of tearing packaging triggers anticipation in our brains, while the distinctive aroma of dried seasoning activates our salivary glands and prepares our digestive system for incoming food. When hot water hits the noodles, the release of steam carries volatile aromatic compounds that our olfactory system interprets as comfort and nourishment. From a nutritional standpoint, instant noodles are primarily carbohydrates, which serve as our body's preferred quick energy source. When we eat them, our blood sugar rises relatively quickly, providing an immediate sense of energy and well-being. This rapid carbohydrate absorption triggers the release of serotonin, often called the happiness hormone, which contributes to feelings of comfort and satisfaction. The texture plays a crucial role in the satisfaction equation. The slight chewiness of properly prepared instant noodles, what food scientists call mouthfeel, engages our jaw muscles in a way that signals satiety to our brains. This chewing action also releases additional flavors from the noodles and broth, creating a more complex and satisfying eating experience than foods that require minimal mastication. The warm temperature of the dish activates thermoreceptors in our mouths and throats, creating a sensation of warmth that many people associate with comfort and care. This thermal satisfaction goes beyond mere temperature. Warm foods tend to be more aromatic, and the heat helps carry flavor compounds to our taste and smell receptors more effectively. Sodium content, while often criticized from a health perspective, plays a significant role in instant noodles' satisfying nature. Humans have an innate preference for salty tastes, evolved from our biological need for sodium to maintain proper cellular function. The salt in instant noodles not only enhances flavor, but also triggers pleasure centers in our brains, making the food more appealing and satisfying. The umami flavor profile found in many instant noodle varieties taps into our fifth taste sense, which specifically responds to glutamates and other compounds that signal protein content. This umami richness creates a deep, savory satisfaction that pure salt, sweet, sour, or bitter flavors cannot achieve alone. It's the same satisfaction we get from aged cheeses, mushrooms, or slow-cooked broths, foods that have been prized across cultures for their deeply satisfying qualities. Psychologically, instant noodles benefit from what researchers call comfort food associations. For many people, these noodles are connected to positive memories of late-night studying, shared moments with friends, or times when a quick, warm meal provided exactly what was needed. These emotional connections amplify the physical satisfaction of eating, creating a psychological comfort that extends beyond mere nutrition. The convenience factor itself contributes to satisfaction in ways that go deeper than simple time saving. In our busy world, the ability to create something warm, flavorful, and filling in just 3 minutes provides a sense of control and self-care. The ritual of preparation, however brief, offers a small pause in hectic schedules, a moment of mindful attention to nourishing ourselves. From a hunger satisfaction perspective, instant noodles are surprisingly effective despite their relatively simple composition. The combination of carbohydrates for quick energy, some protein for satiety, and fats for flavor and mouthfeel creates a macronutrient profile that addresses immediate hunger effectively. While they may not provide sustained satiety like more complex meals, they excel at providing quick, satisfying relief from hunger pangs. The portion sizes of most instant noodle servings are psychologically satisfying as well. A full bowl or cup creates the visual impression of a complete meal, triggering mental satisfaction cues before we even begin eating. The volume of broth adds to this effect, creating a feeling of fullness that extends beyond the caloric content alone. Temperature contrast also plays a role, particularly in cup noodles, where the warm container creates a pleasant tactile experience. Holding something warm activates comfort responses that date back to our earliest experiences with nurturing and care. This physical warmth literally and figuratively warms us, contributing to the overall satisfaction experience. The speed of satisfaction is another crucial factor. In our instant gratification culture, the ability to go from hungry to satisfied in under 5 minutes addresses both physical and psychological needs. The quick preparation time means hunger doesn't have time to intensify into discomfort, and the immediate availability of satisfaction prevents the frustration that can come with longer cooking processes. Interestingly, research has shown that people often feel more satisfied when they participate in food preparation, even if that preparation is minimal. The act of adding water, waiting for the timer, and stirring the noodles creates just enough involvement to trigger satisfaction responses associated with cooking, without requiring significant time or skill investment. The consistency of instant noodles also contributes to their satisfying nature. Unlike restaurant meals that might vary in quality or home cooking that requires skill and attention, instant noodles deliver predictable satisfaction every time. This reliability creates trust and positive anticipation that enhances the overall eating experience. From a broader perspective, instant noodles satisfy multiple human needs simultaneously: hunger, comfort, convenience, warmth, and even social connection when shared. This multidimensional satisfaction explains why billions of people worldwide turn to instant noodles, not just as emergency food, but as a regular source of comfort and contentment in their daily lives. In the flickering light of laptop screens and the quiet hum of late-night study sessions, instant noodles have found their most devoted disciples among college students worldwide. Walk through any university dormitory at midnight, and you'll encounter the gentle sounds of modern student survival. The soft pop of microwave doors opening, the whisper of steam rising from countless cups, and the satisfied slurping of students fueling their academic ambitions, one noodle at a time. The relationship between college students and instant noodles goes far deeper than mere convenience. It's a partnership born of necessity and sustained by ingenuity. For many students living away from home for the first time, instant noodles represent more than food. Their independence, comfort, and creativity all rolled into one affordable package. When budgets are tight and cooking facilities are limited, these humble noodles become the foundation of survival cuisine. The economics are impossible to ignore. A package of instant noodles costs less than a cup of coffee at most campus cafeterias, yet provides a filling meal that can sustain a student through hours of studying. For students calculating every dollar and stretching meal plans to cover an entire semester, instant noodles offer an affordable lifeline that allows them to redirect funds toward textbooks, activities, and other educational necessities. But limitation breeds innovation, and college students have elevated instant noodle preparation to an art form that would impress professional chefs. Armed with nothing more than hot plates, microwaves, and electric kettles, students have developed techniques that transform basic noodles into elaborate meals that provide both nutrition and satisfaction. The classic broke college student upgrade involves cracking an egg into the boiling noodles during the final minute of cooking. This simple addition transforms the dish from simple carbohydrates into a more complete meal with protein and richness. The egg can be stirred in to create a creamy, carbonara-like texture, or left largely intact to provide a rich, runny yolk that coats the noodles with golden richness. Creative students have discovered that frozen vegetables can be added directly to hot noodle water, cooking perfectly in the same time it takes the noodles to rehydrate. Corn, peas, carrots, and green beans not only add nutritional value, but also provide color, texture, and freshness that make the meal feel more substantial and satisfying. Some students keep bags of mixed frozen vegetables specifically for noodle enhancement, creating custom combinations that reflect their personal preferences. The hot sauce revolution on college campuses has found its perfect partner in instant noodles. Students collect bottles of sriracha, gochujang, harissa, and exotic hot sauces like trophies, using their noodles as canvases for exploring heat levels and flavor profiles. These additions transform mild noodles into complex, spicy dishes that provide both satisfaction and a sense of culinary adventure. Cheese has become another favorite enhancement, with students discovering that everything from processed American slices to fancy cheddar can be melted into noodle broth to create incredibly satisfying comfort food. The combination of cheese and spicy noodles has proven particularly popular, creating fusion dishes that blend Korean heat with American comfort food sensibilities. Dormitory cooking has spawned ingenious preparation methods that work around the limitations of shared kitchens and basic equipment. Students have perfected the art of microwave noodle preparation, learning the precise timing and power levels needed to achieve perfect texture without overflow. Others have mastered coffee pot cooking, using their in-room coffee makers to boil water for noodles when kitchen access is limited. The social aspect of late-night noodle consumption creates bonding experiences that many students remember long after graduation. Study groups sustained by shared packages of noodles, roommates experimenting with new flavor combinations, and late-night conversations over steaming cups create connections that extend far beyond the dormitory walls. These shared meals, however simple, often become cherished memories of friendship and community. Different academic periods bring their own noodle traditions. Finals week sees a surge in noodle consumption as students prioritize studying over elaborate meal preparation. The quick, warm satisfaction of instant noodles provides necessary fuel without requiring attention that could be directed toward cramming for exams. Some students develop specific noodle rituals around studying, using preparation breaks as natural intervals between study sessions. All-nighters powered by instant noodles have become a rite of passage for many students. The warm, comforting meal provides both physical sustenance and psychological comfort during the stressful late-night hours when assignments are due and deadlines loom. The familiar ritual of preparation offers a calming break from intense concentration, while the satisfying meal provides energy for continued work. International students often introduce their domestic classmates to noodle varieties from their home countries, creating cultural exchange opportunities over shared meals. A Korean student might share fiery ramyeon with American roommates, while a Japanese exchange student introduces the subtle complexities of regional ramen varieties. These culinary diplomacy sessions broaden palates and create understanding across cultural boundaries. The evolution of dorm room cooking equipment has been heavily influenced by instant noodle consumption. Electric kettles, personal rice cookers, and compact hot plates are often purchased specifically with noodle preparation in mind. Some students invest in specialized ramen bowls or chopstick sets, elevating their noodle experience beyond mere sustenance to something approaching culinary ritual. Graduation day often brings nostalgic memories of countless noodle meals that sustained students through their academic journeys. Alumni frequently joke about their ramen years with fondness, remembering not just the food, but the creativity, resourcefulness, and community that surrounded these simple meals. Many continue to keep instant noodles on hand long after their financial situations improve, maintaining a connection to those formative college experiences. The influence of college noodle culture extends beyond individual students to impact broader food trends. Many of the creative preparation methods developed in dormitories eventually make their way into mainstream cooking, while the adventurous flavor combinations explored by students help drive demand for new and innovative instant noodle varieties. For millions of students worldwide, instant noodles represent more than convenient nutrition. They're symbols of independence, creativity, and the resourcefulness that characterizes the college experience. In every late-night bowl, there's a story of academic ambition, friendship, and the simple satisfaction of creating something nourishing from humble ingredients and limited resources. In the annals of food history, few products have inspired the kind of passionate devotion that occasionally erupts into genuine social phenomena. Instant noodles have not only fed billions, but have also sparked cultural movements, created economic disruptions, and even influenced international relations in ways their humble inventor could never have imagined. The term ramen riots might sound humorous, but the reality of instant noodle shortages has created genuine social unrest in various parts of the world. When beloved noodle varieties disappear from store shelves due to supply chain issues, ingredient shortages, or manufacturing problems, the public response can be surprisingly intense. These events reveal just how deeply instant noodles have embedded themselves in daily life and cultural identity. One of the most dramatic examples occurred in Venezuela during economic crisis periods, when hyperinflation and supply shortages made even basic instant noodles difficult to find. Long lines formed outside stores rumored to have noodle shipments, and the government actually had to regulate noodle sales to prevent hoarding. These ramen lines became symbols of broader economic hardship, but they also demonstrated how instant noodles had become essential comfort food for people facing uncertainty. In the United States, temporary shortages of popular Korean noodle brands during the height of the Korean Wave cultural phenomenon led to online bidding wars and black market sales. Students would drive hours to specialty stores that still had stock, and packages of certain brands sold for many times their retail price on secondary markets. Social media exploded with posts about noodle hunting expeditions and elaborate trades between collectors. The cultural impact of instant noodles extends far beyond supply and demand economics into the realm of art, music, and social commentary. Hip-hop artists have referenced ramen as symbols of struggle and perseverance, while visual artists have used noodle packaging in installations that explore themes of globalization, consumer culture, and economic inequality. The distinctive styling of instant noodle cups and packages has become iconic design language that immediately communicates certain cultural concepts. Japanese pop culture has embraced instant noodles as recurring motifs in anime, manga, and video games. Characters consuming cup noodles during late-night study sessions or after difficult days has become visual shorthand for relatability and everyday struggle. Some anime series feature elaborate noodle preparation scenes that treat instant cooking with the same reverence traditionally reserved for elaborate cuisine. The rise of social media has created entirely new forms of instant noodle culture. Food bloggers and influencers have built substantial followings by reviewing unusual noodle varieties, creating elaborate preparation tutorials, and documenting noodle hunting expeditions to find rare or limited edition flavors. Hashtags like #RamenLife and #NoodleStagram have generated millions of posts, creating virtual communities united by their appreciation for instant noodles. Competitive eating has embraced instant noodles as a legitimate challenge category, with contests specifically focused on consuming large quantities of noodles within time limits. These competitions have created their own subculture of professional competitive eaters who specialize in noodle consumption, developing specific techniques and training regimens focused on maximizing noodle intake speed. The economic impact of instant noodles extends into unexpected areas of cultural production. Food trucks specializing in gourmet instant noodles have become popular in major cities, elevating convenience store noodles into restaurant experiences. These establishments add premium ingredients, creative presentations, and elevated preparation methods, while maintaining the essential instant noodle character that customers crave. Academic study of instant noodles has emerged as a legitimate field of cultural research. Sociologists examine noodle consumption patterns as indicators of economic conditions, migration patterns, and cultural assimilation. Food historians trace the evolution of instant noodles as a lens for understanding post-war recovery, globalization, and changing family structures in developed nations. The influence of instant noodles on language and communication reflects their cultural penetration. Phrases like "living the ramen life" have entered common usage to describe frugal living situations. In many cultures, offering to share instant noodles has become a gesture of friendship and inclusion, while ramen dates among students and young adults represent affordable social dining options. Museums have begun collecting instant noodle packaging and marketing materials as artifacts that document cultural and economic history. The Cup Noodles Museum in Japan attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors annually, treating instant noodles as significant cultural innovations worthy of preservation and study. These institutions recognize that instant noodles represent more than food. They're documents of human ingenuity and cultural adaptation. Celebrity culture has embraced instant noodles as symbols of authenticity and relatability. Famous personalities who publicly discuss their love of instant noodles often gain credibility with audiences who appreciate the contrast between glamorous lifestyles and humble food preferences. This phenomenon has created marketing opportunities where celebrity endorsements feel genuine rather than purely commercial. The environmental impact of instant noodle consumption has sparked cultural conversations about sustainability and corporate responsibility. Activist groups have organized campaigns around packaging waste, while manufacturers have responded by developing more sustainable packaging materials and production methods. These discussions have elevated instant noodles from simple consumer products to subjects of environmental consciousness. Fashion has even been influenced by instant noodle culture, with clothing brands creating designs that reference noodle packaging, colors, and imagery. Limited edition collaborations between noodle brands and streetwear companies have created cult collectibles that sell out within minutes of release, demonstrating the deep cultural cache that instant noodles have developed among certain demographics. The global pandemic revealed the cultural significance of instant noodles as comfort food during times of crisis. Sales surged worldwide as people stockpiled familiar, shelf-stable foods that provided both nutrition and psychological comfort during uncertain times. Social media filled with posts about pandemic noodle preparation, creating virtual community around shared experiences of isolation and anxiety. Perhaps most remarkably, instant noodles have become diplomatic tools in their own right. Cultural exchange programs now include noodle tasting sessions, while international students often bring unique noodle varieties as gifts that represent their home cultures. These simple food exchanges create understanding and connection across cultural boundaries, fulfilling the original promise of food as a universal language that transcends political and cultural differences. In the most unexpected corners of human society, instant noodles have carved out roles that extend far beyond their original purpose as convenient meals. From the harsh realities of prison life to the cutting-edge challenges of space exploration, these humble noodles have proven remarkably adaptable to circumstances their inventor never could have imagined. Prison commissaries across the United States have inadvertently created one of the most fascinating alternative economies in modern society, with instant noodles serving as a de facto currency that rivals official money in terms of practical value. In correctional facilities where cash transactions are prohibited and official commissary items are expensive, packages of ramen have become the gold standard for inmate commerce. The reasons for this monetary evolution are both practical and psychological. Instant noodles are relatively inexpensive in commissary terms, making them accessible to inmates with limited funds. They're also consumable, which means they can't be confiscated as easily as other valuable items, and their universal appeal makes them widely accepted in trade. A single package of ramen might be worth a stamp, a phone call, or protection services, creating complex exchange rates that fluctuate based on availability and demand. This prison economy has developed sophisticated systems that would impress economists studying alternative currencies. Inmates track exchange rates between different noodle brands, with premium varieties commanding higher values than basic flavors. Seasonal shortages can dramatically affect exchange rates, and inmates who understand these market dynamics can build substantial wealth within the constraints of the prison system. The preparation of instant noodles in prison environments has led to remarkable culinary innovations born from necessity and limited resources. Inmates have developed techniques for cooking noodles using only hot water from sinks, creating elaborate recipes that incorporate other commissary items to produce surprisingly sophisticated meals. These spread recipes are closely guarded secrets that represent both survival skills and sources of pride within prison communities. Some of the most creative prison noodle preparations involve combining multiple packages with ingredients like cheese crackers, canned fish, and various seasonings to create dishes that provide both nutrition and comfort. These meals become focal points for social interaction and community building in environments where positive social experiences are rare and valuable. The transition from prison currency to space food represents perhaps the most dramatic evolution in instant noodle applications. When space agencies began looking for foods that could provide astronauts with familiar comfort during long missions, instant noodles emerged as surprisingly suitable candidates for orbital dining. The challenges of eating in zero gravity initially seemed to make instant noodles impractical for space missions. The loose noodles could float away and potentially damage sensitive equipment, while hot liquids behave unpredictably in microgravity environments. However, food scientists developed innovative solutions that maintained the essential instant noodle experience while addressing space-specific safety concerns. Space-adapted instant noodles require special packaging that prevents floating debris while allowing astronauts to add water and consume the contents safely. The noodles themselves are often shorter than terrestrial versions to reduce the risk of floating strands, while the broth is designed to have higher surface tension, making it less likely to form dangerous floating droplets. Japanese astronauts were among the first to bring instant noodles to space stations, recognizing their psychological value as comfort food during long missions far from Earth. The familiar taste and preparation ritual provide emotional connections to home that help astronauts maintain psychological well-being during extended periods of isolation and stress. The development of space-suitable instant noodles has led to innovations that benefit terrestrial versions as well. New packaging technologies developed for zero-gravity consumption have improved shelf life and portability for Earth-bound varieties. Preparation techniques refined for space use have influenced camping and emergency food applications, creating products that work reliably in challenging environments. Military applications have embraced instant noodles as field rations that provide both nutrition and morale benefits to troops in remote locations. The familiar taste and quick preparation make them valuable additions to military food supplies, particularly in situations where full cooking facilities aren't available. Special military versions have been developed with enhanced nutritional profiles and packaging, designed to withstand extreme conditions. Emergency preparedness communities have adopted instant noodles as essential survival foods that provide both practical nutrition and psychological comfort during disasters. The long shelf life, minimal preparation requirements, and universal appeal make them ideal for emergency food storage. Many emergency management agencies now include instant noodles in recommended disaster supply kits, recognizing their dual role as sustenance and comfort food. Remote research stations in Antarctica and other extreme environments rely on instant noodles as reliable food sources that can be prepared under challenging conditions. The consistent quality, familiar flavors, and minimal preparation requirements make them valuable components of isolated facility food supplies. Researchers have developed specialized preparation techniques adapted to extreme cold conditions and limited water supplies. Homeless shelters and food assistance programs have discovered that instant noodles provide dignity as well as nutrition to people facing food insecurity. The ability to prepare a hot, satisfying meal with minimal resources helps maintain self-sufficiency and personal agency during difficult circumstances. Many assistance programs specifically request donations of instant noodles because of their practical value and recipient acceptance. Camping and outdoor recreation have been revolutionized by lightweight, nutritious instant noodle varieties specifically designed for backpacking and wilderness use. These specialized versions often feature enhanced nutritional profiles, reduced sodium content, and packaging optimized for weight and volume efficiency. The convenience factor makes them popular with hikers who want satisfying meals without complex preparation procedures. Medical applications have found uses for instant noodles in situations where patients need familiar, easily digestible foods during recovery periods. Hospitals sometimes use mild instant noodle varieties as transitional foods for patients moving from liquid diets to solid foods, taking advantage of their soft texture and familiar flavors to encourage eating during recovery. International aid organizations have adopted instant noodles as emergency food supplies that provide both nutrition and cultural sensitivity in disaster response situations. The availability of halal, kosher, and culturally appropriate varieties makes them suitable for diverse populations affected by natural disasters or humanitarian crises. The adaptability of instant noodles to extreme and specialized environments demonstrates their fundamental utility beyond simple convenience food. Whether serving as currency in correctional facilities or sustenance in space stations, these remarkable noodles continue to find new applications that extend their impact far beyond the original vision of quick, affordable meals. Their success in these diverse contexts reveals the deeper human needs they fulfill for comfort, community, and familiar satisfaction, regardless of circumstances. In kitchens around the world, a quiet revolution has been brewing in bowls, cups, and pots as creative cooks transform humble instant noodles from simple convenience food into culinary canvases for self-expression. This art of enhancement represents one of the most democratic forms of cooking creativity, where expensive ingredients and formal training matter less than imagination and willingness to experiment. The foundation of noodle enhancement lies in understanding that instant noodles are not finished products, but rather starting points for culinary exploration. Like painters approaching blank canvases, noodle artists see those golden, curly strands as opportunities to create something uniquely satisfying and personal. The base flavors provide structure, while additions and modifications allow for infinite variation and customization. Protein enhancement represents one of the most popular and practical approaches to noodle improvement. The simple addition of an egg transforms both the nutritional profile and the eating experience dramatically. Whether cracked directly into boiling noodles to create silky ribbons throughout the broth, or fried separately and placed on top for textural contrast, eggs provide richness and substance that elevates instant noodles from snack to meal. But egg preparation techniques vary widely among noodle enthusiasts. Some prefer to beat eggs before adding them to create a more uniform distribution throughout the broth. Others master the technique of creating perfect soft-boiled eggs with runny yolks that coat the noodles with golden richness when broken. Advanced practitioners develop timing systems that produce eggs cooked to exact preferences, whether jammy yolks or fully set whites. Vegetable enhancements add color, nutrition, and freshness to noodle preparations. Frozen vegetables work particularly well because they cook quickly and don't require additional preparation. Corn provides sweetness and pop, while peas add color and mild flavor. Frozen mixed vegetables create colorful, nutritious additions that transform simple noodles into more complete meals. Fresh vegetables require more technique, but offer superior flavor and texture. Green onions provide sharp, fresh notes that brighten rich broths, while fresh spinach wilts beautifully in hot noodle water, adding vitamins and vibrant color. Mushrooms contribute umami depth and meaty texture, particularly when sautéed briefly before adding to noodles. Some enhancement artists specialize in vegetable techniques that maximize flavor impact. Quick pickled vegetables made with rice vinegar and a touch of sugar provide acidic contrast that cuts through rich noodle broths. Roasted vegetables prepared in advance can be added to noodles for concentrated flavors and appealing textures that fresh vegetables can't provide. Protein additions extend far beyond eggs to include everything from leftover roast chicken to canned fish to tofu. Each protein brings its own character to noodle preparations. Rotisserie chicken provides convenient, flavorful protein that makes instant noodles feel like homemade chicken soup. Canned tuna or salmon creates satisfying, omega-rich meals that work particularly well with spicy noodle varieties. Tofu offers versatility for both vegetarian preferences and texture experimentation. Silken tofu creates creamy, almost custard-like additions to noodle broths, while firm tofu can be cubed and briefly pan-fried for textural contrast. Some enhancement artists marinate tofu before adding it to noodles, creating flavor bombs that complement and enhance the base seasonings. Leftover proteins from previous meals find new life in noodle enhancements. Yesterday's grilled steak becomes today's protein-rich noodle topping, while leftover roasted vegetables transform into noodle enhancement ingredients. This approach reduces food waste while creating satisfying meals from ingredients that might otherwise go unused. Cheese integration represents one of the most controversial yet popular enhancement categories. The combination of instant noodles and cheese might seem unlikely, but practitioners have developed sophisticated techniques that create incredibly satisfying results. American cheese slices melt smoothly into noodle broths, creating creamy, rich textures that complement spicy flavors particularly well. More adventurous cheese enthusiasts experiment with varieties that bring different characteristics to noodle preparations. Sharp cheddar provides tangy contrast, while cream cheese creates luxurious, smooth textures. Parmesan adds umami depth and nutty complexity, while mozzarella provides stretchy, satisfying mouthfeel that transforms eating experience. Korean-style cheese noodles have popularized specific preparation techniques that maximize cheese integration. These methods involve creating thick, creamy broths where cheese becomes integral to the dish, rather than simply an addition. The results achieve restaurant-quality richness, using convenient store ingredients and basic cooking techniques. Spice and heat enhancement allows noodle artists to customize their preferred intensity levels and flavor profiles. Hot sauce additions range from mainstream options like sriracha and Tabasco to exotic varieties that provide unique heat characteristics. Each sauce brings different flavor notes beyond simple heat smokiness, fruitiness, vinegar tang, or fermented complexity. Fresh chili integration provides heat along with fresh, bright flavors that complement noodle richness. Jalapenos offer moderate heat with fresh, green notes, while serranos provide more intensity. Thai bird's eye chilies deliver serious heat for those who crave extreme spice experiences. Chili oil preparations create aromatic, flavorful heat that enhances rather than overwhelms noodle flavors. These oils can be prepared in advance or created quickly by heating oil with dried chilies and aromatics. The resulting oils provide both heat and flavor complexity that transforms simple noodles into sophisticated dishes. Aromatic enhancement focuses on ingredients that provide fragrance and flavor complexity without overwhelming the base noodle character. Fresh herbs like cilantro, basil, or mint add brightness and freshness that balance rich, salty noodle broths. These herbs are typically added just before serving to preserve their delicate flavors and appealing colors. Garlic and ginger provide aromatic foundations that enhance many noodle varieties. Fresh garlic can be minced and added directly to hot noodles, where it softens and mellows while providing sharp, pungent notes. Ginger adds warmth and complexity that works particularly well with spicy noodle varieties. Sesame oil represents one of the most popular aromatic enhancements, providing nutty richness and authentic Asian flavors that complement most instant noodle varieties. A few drops added just before eating transform the aroma and flavor profile dramatically, creating restaurant-quality fragrance from simple ingredients. Advanced enhancement techniques involve multiple preparation steps that create complex, layered flavors. These might include preparing aromatic oils, marinating proteins, or creating custom spice blends that complement specific noodle varieties. While these techniques require more time and effort, they produce results that rival restaurant preparations, while maintaining the essential convenience that makes instant noodles appealing. The art of enhancement ultimately reflects individual creativity and personal taste preferences. What works for one noodle artist might not appeal to another, and the beauty lies in this diversity of approaches and outcomes. Whether simple additions or complex preparations, enhancement techniques allow instant noodles to serve as foundations for personalized, satisfying meals that reflect individual preferences and cultural influences. This enhancement culture has created communities of practitioners who share techniques, experiment with new combinations, and celebrate successful innovations. Social media platforms showcase elaborate noodle preparations that inspire others to experiment and develop their own signature enhancement styles, creating a global community united by creative approaches to humble instant noodles. Behind every steaming bowl of instant noodles lies a business empire that spans continents, influences global food trends, and generates revenues that rival entire national economies. The transformation of Momofuku Ando's simple invention into a multi-billion-dollar industry represents one of the most remarkable business success stories of the modern era, demonstrating how a single innovative product can reshape entire markets and consumer behaviors. The Nissin Food Products Company, founded by Ando in 1958, pioneered not just instant noodles, but also the business models that would define the industry for decades to come. Ando's approach combined innovative food technology with shrewd marketing insights, recognizing that success required not just creating a good product, but also educating consumers about how and why to use it. Early marketing campaigns focused on demonstration rather than traditional advertising. Ando personally appeared at department stores and trade shows, preparing instant noodles in front of skeptical audiences and letting the aroma and convenience speak for themselves. This hands-on approach established a pattern of experiential marketing that instant noodle companies continue to use today. The introduction of cup noodles in 1971 represented a quantum leap in both product innovation and market expansion. By eliminating the need for bowls and making noodles even more portable, Nissin created new consumption occasions and expanded their potential market dramatically. The cup format also provided better branding opportunities, with distinctive packaging that could communicate product benefits and build brand recognition more effectively than simple foil packages. Nissin's expansion into international markets required cultural sensitivity and local adaptation that became templates for global food marketing. Rather than simply exporting Japanese flavors, the company developed region-specific varieties that appealed to local tastes while maintaining the essential instant noodle characteristics. This approach allowed rapid market penetration while building local brand loyalty. The success of Nissin inspired countless competitors who recognized the enormous market potential of instant noodles. Companies like Maruchan, Top Ramen, and regional manufacturers began developing their own varieties, creating competitive pressures that drove innovation in flavors, packaging, and marketing approaches. This competition benefited consumers by expanding options and keeping prices competitive. South Korean companies like Nongshim transformed instant noodles from simple convenience food into cultural phenomena through bold flavor profiles and aggressive marketing. Shin Ramyeon became not just a food product, but a cultural export that introduced international consumers to Korean flavors and food culture. The success of Korean noodle brands demonstrated how instant noodles could serve as vehicles for cultural influence and soft diplomacy. Indonesian manufacturer Indofood created one of the world's most successful instant noodle brands with Indomie, which achieved market dominance through aggressive pricing, local flavor development, and distribution strategies adapted to developing market conditions. Indomie's success in Southeast Asia and Africa demonstrated how instant noodles could thrive in emerging economies, where affordability and convenience were paramount concerns. Chinese manufacturers like Master Kong and Uni-President leveraged their enormous domestic market to achieve scales that made them global competitors. These companies invested heavily in production capacity and distribution networks, creating efficiencies that allowed them to compete on price while maintaining quality standards. Their success demonstrated how large domestic markets could serve as launching pads for international expansion. The business model of instant noodles proves remarkably resilient across different economic conditions and market environments. During economic downturns, Sales typically increase as consumers seek affordable meal alternatives. During good economic times, premium varieties and innovative flavors drive growth by appealing to consumers willing to pay more for enhanced experiences. This economic resilience makes instant noodle companies attractive to investors and provides stability for long-term business planning. Manufacturing efficiency has become a key competitive advantage in the instant noodle industry. Modern production facilities can produce millions of servings daily using highly automated processes that maintain consistent quality while minimizing labor costs. These facilities represent significant capital investments, but provide competitive advantages through economies of scale and consistent product quality. Distribution strategies vary widely based on market characteristics and consumer behaviors. In developed markets, companies focus on supermarket placement and convenience store availability. In developing markets, distribution might involve complex networks of wholesalers and small retailers who serve consumers in remote areas. Some companies have developed mobile distribution systems that bring products directly to consumers in areas with limited retail infrastructure. Branding and marketing investments have grown increasingly sophisticated as instant noodle companies compete for consumer attention in crowded markets. Sponsorship of sports teams, entertainment events, and cultural activities helps build brand awareness and positive associations. Celebrity endorsements and social media campaigns target specific demographic groups with tailored messaging and product positioning. Product development cycles have accelerated dramatically as companies race to introduce new flavors and formats that capture consumer interest. Limited edition varieties create excitement and encourage trial, while core products provide stability and consistent sales. The balance between innovation and consistency requires careful market research and consumer insight to execute successfully. Packaging innovation represents a significant area of competitive differentiation and cost management. New materials and designs can reduce costs, improve product protection, enhance convenience, or provide better branding opportunities. Sustainable packaging solutions have become increasingly important as environmental consciousness grows among consumers and regulators. International expansion strategies reflect different approaches to global growth and market development. Some companies prefer direct investment in foreign markets, building local production facilities and distribution networks. Others use licensing agreements or joint ventures with local partners who understand regional market conditions and consumer preferences. Supply chain management has become increasingly complex as instant noodle companies source ingredients globally, while maintaining consistent quality and managing cost pressures. Palm oil, wheat flour, and various spices must be sourced reliably and cost-effectively, requiring sophisticated procurement strategies and supplier relationship management. Food safety and quality control represent critical business functions that protect both consumer health and brand reputation. Instant noodle companies invest heavily in testing, monitoring, and certification systems that ensure product safety and consistency. Recalls or safety incidents can damage brand reputation and result in significant financial losses. The economic impact of the instant noodle industry extends far beyond the companies themselves to include suppliers, distributors, retailers, and countless small businesses that benefit from instant noodle sales. Agricultural producers who grow wheat and other ingredients, packaging manufacturers, transportation companies, and retail establishments all participate in the economic ecosystem created by instant noodle demand. Market research and consumer insight drive product development and marketing strategies in the highly competitive instant noodle industry. Companies invest substantially in understanding consumer preferences, usage patterns, and emerging trends that might influence future demand. This research helps guide decisions about new product development, marketing positioning, and market expansion strategies. The future growth of the instant noodle industry depends on continued innovation, market expansion, and adaptation to changing consumer preferences and regulatory environments. Companies that successfully balance tradition with innovation, global reach with local relevance, and profitability with social responsibility will likely dominate the next phase of industry evolution. As we stand at the threshold of a new era in food technology and consumer consciousness, the humble instant noodle finds itself at the center of remarkable innovations that promise to reshape not just how we eat, but how we think about convenience, nutrition, and sustainability. The future of instant noodles is being written in research laboratories, sustainable farms, and the creative minds of food scientists who see infinite possibilities in those familiar golden strands. Health-conscious consumers are driving unprecedented innovation in instant noodle nutrition profiles. Gone are the days when instant noodles were dismissed as empty calories with minimal nutritional value. Today's food scientists are developing varieties that rival fresh meals in their vitamin, mineral, and protein content, while maintaining the convenience and affordability that made instant noodles popular. Protein enhancement represents one of the most significant nutritional improvements in modern instant noodle development. New formulations incorporate plant-based proteins from sources like pea protein, quinoa, and various legumes directly into the noodle dough, creating complete amino acid profiles that rival traditional protein sources. These protein-enriched noodles provide sustained energy and satiety that addresses one of the primary criticisms of traditional instant noodles. Fortification with vitamins and minerals has evolved from simple additions to sophisticated delivery systems that protect nutrients during processing and storage, while ensuring optimal bioavailability when consumed. Microencapsulation technologies allow heat-sensitive vitamins to survive the manufacturing process, while mineral chelation improves absorption and reduces metallic tastes that can compromise flavor. Fiber enhancement addresses digestive health concerns while improving satiety and blood sugar response. New fiber sources that don't compromise texture or taste allow instant noodles to provide significant portions of daily fiber requirements. Some innovative formulations use fiber sources that actually improve noodle texture, creating products that are both healthier and more satisfying than their traditional counterparts. Alternative grain bases are expanding beyond traditional wheat to include options that address various dietary restrictions and preferences. Rice-based noodles cater to gluten-sensitive consumers, while varieties made from lentil flour, chickpea flour, or other legume bases provide higher protein content and lower glycemic response. These alternatives maintain the essential instant noodle experience, while offering dramatically improved nutritional profiles. Reduced sodium formulations address one of the primary health concerns associated with traditional instant noodles. Food scientists have developed flavor systems that deliver satisfying taste with significantly less sodium, using natural flavor enhancers, fermented ingredients, and innovative seasoning technologies that provide umami richness without relying heavily on salt. Sustainability initiatives are transforming every aspect of instant noodle production, from ingredient sourcing to packaging disposal. Companies are investing in regenerative agriculture practices that improve soil health while producing the grains used in noodle production. These farming methods sequester carbon, support biodiversity, and create more resilient supply chains that can adapt to climate change challenges. Packaging innovation focuses on reducing environmental impact while maintaining product protection and consumer convenience. Biodegradable films made from seaweed, mushroom mycelium, or other organic materials are being developed to replace traditional plastic packaging. These materials break down safely in composting systems, while providing adequate barrier properties to preserve product quality. Edible packaging represents the ultimate fusion of sustainability and convenience, with research ongoing into packaging materials that can be consumed along with the noodles themselves. These edible films could be flavored to enhance the eating experience while eliminating packaging waste entirely. While still in development, edible packaging could revolutionize convenience food sustainability. Water usage reduction in both production and consumption represents another sustainability focus. New processing technologies require less water during manufacturing, while some innovative products are designed to rehydrate with minimal water, making them suitable for water-scarce regions or emergency situations where water conservation is critical. Plant-based flavor systems are replacing artificial ingredients and animal-derived components to create more sustainable and inclusive instant noodle varieties. These natural flavoring systems often provide more complex, nuanced tastes, while appealing to consumers seeking cleaner ingredient labels and more sustainable food choices. Smart packaging technologies incorporate sensors and indicators that provide consumers with real-time information about product freshness, optimal preparation conditions, or nutritional content. These intelligent packages could guide cooking parameters for perfect results, or alert consumers to storage conditions that might compromise quality. Personalization technologies promise to create instant noodle varieties tailored to individual nutritional needs, taste preferences, and dietary restrictions. Advanced manufacturing systems could potentially produce custom noodle formulations based on consumer health data, activity levels, or specific nutritional goals, creating truly personalized nutrition solutions. Fermentation technologies are being explored to enhance both flavor and nutritional value in instant noodles. Controlled fermentation processes can increase bioavailable nutrients, create complex flavor profiles, and introduce beneficial probiotics that support digestive health. These fermented noodles could bridge the gap between convenience food and functional nutrition. 3D printing technology offers possibilities for creating noodle shapes and textures that aren't possible with traditional manufacturing methods. This technology could enable on-demand production of fresh noodles with customized shapes, textures, and nutritional profiles, potentially revolutionizing how instant noodles are produced and distributed. Alternative protein sources, including insects, algae, and lab-grown proteins, are being investigated as sustainable, nutritious additions to instant noodles. While consumer acceptance varies by region, these protein sources offer environmental advantages and nutritional benefits that could make them attractive options for environmentally conscious consumers. Functional ingredients that provide specific health benefits beyond basic nutrition are being incorporated into next-generation instant noodles. These might include adaptogens for stress management, nootropics for cognitive function, or specific compounds that support immune system function, creating instant noodles that serve as vehicles for targeted nutritional intervention. Temperature-stable probiotics represent an exciting frontier in instant noodle development, potentially allowing beneficial bacteria to survive the manufacturing process and provide digestive health benefits. These probiotic noodles could support gut health while delivering the convenience and satisfaction that make instant noodles appealing. The future market landscape for instant noodles will likely include premium segments focused on organic ingredients, artisanal preparation methods, and gourmet flavor profiles that compete directly with restaurant meals. These premium products will command higher prices while delivering experiences that justify the cost through superior ingredients, innovative flavors, and enhanced nutritional profiles. Global expansion into underserved markets presents opportunities for instant noodle companies to address food security challenges while building new revenue streams. Products specifically designed for nutritional supplementation in developing regions could help address malnutrition while creating sustainable business models that benefit both companies and consumers. Climate adaptation will become increasingly important as changing weather patterns affect ingredient availability and production conditions. Instant noodle manufacturers will need to develop more resilient supply chains and ingredient sources that can adapt to changing agricultural conditions while maintaining consistent quality and affordability. The convergence of convenience, nutrition, sustainability, and technology promises to create instant noodles that exceed current consumer expectations, while addressing many of the criticisms traditionally associated with the category. These future noodles will likely be more nutritious than many fresh meals, more sustainable than most packaged foods, and more satisfying than current instant varieties, while maintaining the convenience and affordability that made instant noodles a global phenomenon. As our midnight journey through the remarkable world of instant noodles draws to a gentle close, we find ourselves marveling at how something so humble can touch so many lives in so many ways. From Momofuku Ando's small shed in post-war Japan to space stations orbiting Earth, from college dorm rooms to research laboratories developing sustainable futures, these simple noodles have woven themselves into the fabric of human experience in ways both profound and beautifully ordinary. The steam rising from countless bowls around the world right now carries more than just the aroma of seasoning and wheat. It carries the hopes of students facing long nights of study, the comfort of travelers far from home, the creativity of cooks transforming simple ingredients into personal masterpieces, and the promise of innovators working to make tomorrow's noodles even better than today's. In this gentle, persistent steam, we find a reminder that sometimes the most revolutionary changes come not with fanfare, but with the quiet satisfaction of needs met and hungers satisfied. As you settle into sleep tonight, perhaps you'll dream of bamboo steamers and golden noodles, of midnight kitchen discoveries, and the comforting ritual of 3-minute transformations. Until we meet again in these quiet hours, may your pantry always hold something that brings you comfort. May your late-night hunger always find gentle satisfaction, and may you carry with you the knowledge that even the simplest innovations can change the world, one slurp at a time.